Hello, everyone. This is Greg Knight. I'll be your instructor for CIS 146. This class is an online class and an asynchronous class, meaning that we do not have scheduled class meetings either in person or online. So you'll be doing your work largely independently. But I'm just going to record this here to kind of get you started. So on the screen right now, you are seeing the Blackboard for this class. I've got it set to student view, so it looks a little bit different. This student view at the top. Otherwise, this is the way you see your Blackboard. So we're going to go through the basic orientation type stuff for the class. And I'm going to go into Cengage MindTap. That is the learning platform we'll use for this class, and I'll just show you kind of how that works and kind of get you oriented to things. All right, so we're starting out right here on the attendance verification tab. This information is what you'll use to make sure you're part of the class, and you need to do this before the 26th, which is tomorrow. We're going to go through each one of these steps here in just a moment, but for now I'm going to direct your attention over here to the Start Here section. If you can see my mouse on the screen. First thing in that list is remote testing consent. That's something that all Blackboard courses have in it now, so you need to go ahead and read that, understand it, and complete that. Anytime I send out any kind of announcements, you will receive a message an email in your student email about that, but you can also find the announcements here. I sent out an introductory message yesterday. Next here we've got the syllabus. Let's take a look at the syllabus. Open it up for us here. Let me move it so you can see it. My contact information, office hours, course description, COVID statement. Got the basic outline of things here that we're going to learn. If you just kind of want to understand what you're going to get out of this class, this is a good summary of those things. Textbook that you need listed right here. It's a Cengage Unlimited access code. You can buy this from the college bookstore. The grading scheme for this class, all right, so there's a total of 2,000 points available. The points are broke down per section for you right here. Syllabus agreement form in my course is the Getting Started quiz, so that's where you'll get those points. And there's also a grading scheme or a scale over here. So in order to get a C in this class, you need at least 1,400 points. A B, you need 1,600, and an A, you need 1,800 points. So best way to earn the points that you want to get the grade that you want is to just work on this material. I say a typical semester that's 16 weeks, 5 hours a week is pretty good to keep up with the class. Since this is a shorter time frame, 10-week semester because it's summer, I would increase that time to make sure you can keep up, maybe 7 hours a week just working on this material. So in order to there's some other details here that you may want to read, but for online students, you will need a Windows computer with Windows 8 or higher with Office 365 installed. That is, you can get that free through Wallace State. Matter of fact, I'll just show you where you would download that really quick. If you're not aware, all right, you can go to the Wallace State webpage and you would log into Office 365. It would ask for to log in. I was already logged in, so it brought me straight to it. And if you have, let's see here, let's let this thing catch up with us real quick. We'll go back here and check. Well, it actually did. All right, so in order to install 365, you go to install apps here, and then you just say Microsoft 365 apps. Click that, it'll download it. Let's see how it's downloading it. Then you click that download there, and it'll install it for you. And you have access to all the apps that you need for this class without having to pay anything additional. You've already, by being a Wallace State student, you have access to those items without paying anything additional. All right, let me go back to the syllabus. All right, makeup work, not really a thing for this class because everything can be turned in anytime, but just make note, I'll show you the schedule in a minute. Once you miss the deadline, the initial deadline for a section, anything you turn in for that section after that deadline gets a 25% deduction. All right, so that actually happens automatically within Cengage. So there's no reason to, you don't have to notify me that you've completed something late or anything like that. But considering it does give you a 25% point deduction, I would recommend not turning in too much late because it's a pretty big hit. If you get behind too much and turn in too many late things, you could get yourself into a situation where you're unable to pass the class. So do the work on time. Classroom etiquette, we are not in person, so that doesn't necessarily apply. Tutoring services at the Bailey building. Email, I will respond to pretty quick, specifically within the policy that's outlined here, 24 hours during the week, 48 hours of the weekend. I'll largely or likely respond quicker. If you have problems with Blackboard, you can contact the help desk. Problems with Cengage, you can contact Cengage tech support through the chat. It's actually really helpful. If you have problems that Cengage is not able to help you with, I'd like you to let me know. Otherwise, most likely, if you're having a problem, they're going to need to work with you directly. I'm okay. It's okay to keep me in the loop, but there's a lot of things that you're going to need help with, I'm not going to be able to fix. So starting with them is a good idea. Technology requirements, I mentioned that earlier. A Windows laptop that you can use Office 365 on. If you happen to have a Mac or a Chromebook, this class does not align well with those platforms. I would recommend you go to the Wallace State Library and check out a laptop if you don't have access to a Windows laptop otherwise. Late work because of technology issues. You have all semester to do this. You know the deadline's now. There's really no reason for this to be a problem. So if you have technology issues, overcome them and get it done. Other help desk mentioned the academic integrity pledge. Do your own work. Don't have somebody else do your work. Don't use artificial intelligence tools to do your work. Do your work yourself. ADA, we're in support of that. We are not in support of discrimination. We have specific policies against that, or harassment. No to that. If you have a complaint with a class, bring it up to me first, department chair second, and the dean third. Inclement weather doesn't apply. We're online class. Campus police, if you need them, numbers listed here. And a disclaimer stating that I may change this or the schedule, but if I do, I will let you know. Inserted the summer schedule here if you need it. You can also find that online and other places. Building evacuation doesn't apply because you're not on campus. In the syllabus agreement form, I'm going to have a getting started quiz for you to use, so you don't have to sign this and send it to me. You can just complete that quiz. All right, that's the syllabus. All right, the schedule. Let's take a look. All right, I want you to take note of the due dates here. We have some early due dates, May the 31st for the syllabus agreement form, or the AV, which I have. I'll go over the AV with you in a second. The operating systems section, 100 points, due by the 31st. And then we shift into Word. Word is due on June the 7th. That's pretty soon. All counts. June 7th is going to be here before we know it. So I would, you got a couple of weeks to get Word done. So I would get through the operating systems pretty quick. It's not really that long, and then immediately start working on Word. You see the other dates as they're laid out here. Notice there's a partial credit due date for everything, August 1st, and that's the 25% deduction. An example would be if you don't complete the Word section by June 7th, anything you complete for Word after June 7th and before August 1st will be deducted 25%. So it's pretty serious hit. So you want to get most of it done, if not all of it done, before the due date. There is a bonus section of 100 points. You can do that anytime, and it's due by the end of the semester. It basically is an integration project that uses aspects of all the different things we're learning. It's actually a pretty fun little project. And if you find yourself needing bonus points, that's a good way to get them. Got our grade scale here. I reviewed that already. 1,400 points to get a C. All right, very good. All right, this is about me. Go Blazers. Attendance verification. All right, you want to register on MindTap. Cengage MindTap. I've got a link for you here to click on and do that. If you have any trouble with that, let me know. And you've got this getting started quiz here. I want you to take that. You go in, you begin that, you answer the questions appropriately. There's one question stating that you've read the syllabus and you understand all this stuff. Agree to that, submit it, and you will have satisfied the syllabus agreement form and the AV all at once. I may post recordings for you occasionally. I've got the instructions here on how to find those that will be listed underneath this virtual classroom here. This recording here today, I'll notify you otherwise, but if you want to see other recordings, you would go here underneath the menu and you see recordings, and it'll be listed right here. All right, let's go into Cengage and take a look. This is your course here, 30722. This is actually Cengage MindTap does a really good job with this particular material. All right, so you've got the orientation, and then you got the operating system section. This is where it starts becoming for points. So if you go through here and look, the read, anything that counts toward the grade is going to have this little orange dot and say counts toward grade. Those are the items that you must do in order to earn the points. You may find it valuable to do the reading that's listed, but you're not getting any points for that. So keep that in mind. And there is a little section on Mac OS, just a reading for you. A little bit of work on Microsoft Teams. There is no points related to that, but that's good information to have maybe. And then you get into Word. All right, so the way this works, you've got these three modules under here, then you got the capstone and the meta major project. Under the first module, you got to learn it and you got to apply it. So you want to jump in, and this is going to take you, you're going to be following the, I'll start this up so you can see what it looks like. All right, once it comes to this screen here, you just click Start. It actually started up in a separate window. All right, so within these here, so you've got 55 tasks on this particular training right here. You can see what all the tasks are if you click on that. Contents. If you do happen to be using a Mac, there's some Mac help here that'll show you how you can accomplish things on a Mac that you might need help with, as opposed to Windows. And then there's some shortcut key listing there. The task, as they're listed right there, the way this works is you've got an observe and a practice and apply. When you do the observe, I'll just do this example here.
When you want to start working in a document that does not contain any content, create a new blank document. Click the File tab on the ribbon. Backstage view opens and lists commands for working with files. Click New. Click Blank Document.
All right, so the observe will actually do that, and you can't actually, all you can do is watch that and move it. Some students find that valuable, but most students would rather shift straight to the practice. So notice I'm on task 1, and I went from observe to practice. When you hit practice, you press the start.
When you want to start working in a document that does not contain any content, create a new blank. Click the File tab. Backstage view open. Click Blank Document. A new blank document.
All right, notice that we completed that, the practice section. All right, so you need to complete the apply on each one of these for you to get the points. The observe and practice are just to teach you. So once you do the apply, it says create a blank document. So now, since it's already walked you through it, you just got to do this yourself, right? So you're just going to go to File, and you're going to go to Blank Document, and you've completed it, right? So now what was required, and see, it actually automatically moves to task 2 at that point. And so the way I usually will do this, I'll usually click from observe to practice, and then just start again, and just do what it says.
Word to create new documents or edit them. On the Windows taskbar, click the Start button.
So now it's waiting for me to do this. I'm not going to walk you through every single one of these, but you kind of see how this works. And notice how it's got the instructions there, plus it's got it highlighted and circled in red here that it needs me to do it.
The Start menu opens. On the Start menu, click Word. Word opens and displays Backstage.
So now we want to apply it. Now it's just telling us to start Word. So now we can just do that. We can just go Start, and then we can just go to Word, and we've done it. All right, so you just keep doing that until you get done with all the tasks. And as you complete a task successfully, it'll have a green check mark next to it, so you'll know that you've completed it. All right, so there's that way to do work in here. Now let me show you the other. And you want to do that all the way through. I didn't do that all the way through for you because that's not what this is about right now. All right, so so that was the training. Now this is the module where you're actually creating the flyer here. So I want you to see how this looks. So we're going to click Start here. All right, so this is kind of the same thing, except you're working, you're going to be creating a document and following along with this. So it's just a different next level where you're doing all the different tasks. So similar to what we just did, except this time it's not teaching you how to do it. You've already learned that because you've been through the module ahead of it. So you just do this way. And then there's the other type of item. You'll have this in all the sections down in the Apply It section. Say Word Module 1, you've got 1, 2, 3 items that you've got to complete. All right, so in this one right here, we're actually creating and modifying a flyer. We're going to start this one, and it's actually going to take us here to where we're actually downloading files and working on this on our own PC instead of within the Cengage Mind tab. So we're going to click here, and it's going to download an instruction file, start file, and a support file, which looks like some type of image. So we're going to download all of those. be able to, it actually opened all that stuff up for us. You want to know where your files are actually downloaded to. On my computer, my files download to my downloads folder. All right, so you want to open the instructions, and you want to follow what this says. One of the first instructions it will always give is it wants you to rename the working file that you have by changing it from _1 to _2. A couple of different ways you can do that. The way I prefer to do it, matter of fact, we need to close that. You can just go into the file. See this file right here? You can rename it and just make it 2. It does that because that's when you upload it. It's looking for this to have been, that name to have been changed. Now you can open that back up. Now, if you have 2 screens, which I would suggest it's easier, you can actually put your work and your, in my case, the instructions on 2 different screens. That way you can see what's going on. But since I'm showing this to you guys on video, and then you also want a couple of things. You want to make sure that the footer displays your name on the file. So we're going down here and look at the footer, and you see this file was for Greg Knight. Yours will have your name there. This is the way the hooks that are into this, so that when you submit this back up to Cengage, when you're done with it, it knows it's your file and it'll grade it and not properly. All right. So now that we've got the instructions and the file, we can actually go to work. So you got the steps here. So you just do the steps as it's outlined here, because you just went through a couple different things where you learned how to do this. Now you're actually doing it on a real document. You're making all these changes, right? And once you've made all the changes that you want to this, then you're going to take the file that you've changed. See, it's inspecting this file here. I'm going to take that file that I've worked through the instructions with and made changes. I'm going to take it and I'm going to upload it. It's going to compare, and it sees that the inspected file is the same as the file that you actually submitted, and you're going to submit it, and it's going to grade it for you. And you can actually check out the grade summary report here, and it not only does it grade it for you, but it updates the points that I will be able to see on my side, and you will as well. Since I didn't make any changes to the file, if I go to this grade summary report, see, it's going to show all these things that I didn't do. But you want to make sure that you complete everything in the list, in the instructions, before you submit it. And everything that you do, you get some points for. All right, you're going to do the same thing for, all right, so once you get complete with Word Module 1, you're going to move on to Word Module 2. And notice that Word Module 1, I did it all the way through. I showed you guys the 2 different, the training module, I showed you the exam, then I showed you the project. You're going to have a similar flow for Module 2. You'll have that for Module 3. And then below Module 3, there's a capstone project, and then you got a meta major project. That it's got instructions in there for you to do and complete. Once you get done with Word by the due date that I shared with you earlier, you move on to Excel, you do the process again. After that, you move on to Access, do the process again, same with PowerPoint. And then the bottom one here is that bonus assignment I told you about. That is how it works. I think that is where we are for the moment. I have nothing else to share with you today. So stop this, and have any questions or anything, just reach out.